It is episode 45 here on the Skeinz Diaries today, and something very special that I want to talk about. There's a whole heap. I mean, honestly, I hope you've got yourself a cuppa and a biscuit. Settle yourselves in. I've got so much to talk about today. So much to talk about. The first thing I'm going to talk about, and I'll circle back around to that at the end, is for those that are unaware, we are here in Hawke's Bay and Napier. And Napier has, and Hawke's Bay, actually, the entire Hawke's Bay region, has this really quirky anniversary day, which happens to be tomorrow. So what that means is Labour weekend for here in New Zealand, Labour weekend for all of us, a 3-day weekend. Here in Hawke's Bay, we get a 4-day weekend. So the founders of the region are utterly fabulous because they have given us a whole 4-day weekend, which is just wonderful. So for those that are here and visiting, and from what I can understand, getting a room in the bay this weekend is a real mission. If you are visiting, we will be closed tomorrow, but we are definitely open on Saturday from 10 to 1. So the shop will be open. So if you are coming and visiting us here at our lovely Hawke's Bay destination, you will be able to come and visit us here in store from 10 a.m. on Saturday. So we're not going to be here tomorrow, but we will be here on Saturday. So it is really, really worthwhile coming to visit because we have got so much in the shop at the moment that is it online. We've got a number, one example is we've got a blue sky fibre yarn that actually isn't online because there's so little of it. We have got some really quirky thread waste. We've got some extra remnant ball specials, which again, there haven't been enough to put those online. We've got, what else have we got? There's a whole heap of little bits and pieces. So if you are here and you are able to come and visit, do so. Now, I'm going to take this off actually because I'm a little bit warm, but I'm going to show you this. I got to work this week to have this beautiful parcel, and look at this. I mean, very much my colours, I have to say. And this is from Karen Simcox. And Karen, I adore it. I absolutely adore it. She has sent me this beautiful woven scarf, all in stunning rich autumnal tones, and as you can see, it is very Marie, and I absolutely adore it, and thank you so much. And it's so nice to see woven fabric. I mean, I know I harp on all the time about knitting and crochet, but there are so many other yarn crafts out there, and we are seeing more and more weavers all the time through our doors, particularly here in store, because that's when we often have some of the quirkier yarns that don't make it online but are brilliant for weavers. So thank you very much, Karen. I absolutely love it. Right, what have I got on the board, Miss Ford, for you today? Let's start with our Rebel progress, and then I'm going to tell you about a few things that you guys are going to hear about first, and then we can move on to some of the other things happening here this weekend. Right, Rebel. I've been ticking along quite nicely. It was so awesome to have Libby on Monday. If you haven't had a chance to watch the Monday videos yet, you'll see 2 of them. And in fact, I need to alter the titles of them. There is a part 1 and a part 2. And that was because technology let us down in the middle. But if you are considering to knit Rebel, do definitely take the time to watch the video. There's some really, really good advice in there. Just the cliff notes of that advice, if you are thinking of doing it and you're sort of not wanting to watch us in all our fabulousness. We talked about in terms of measuring for size, and one of the things that she said on that video is don't be alarmed she talked about doing the shoulder measurement. Don't be alarmed if the size you end up knitting is actually quite different from a size you would normally end up knitting. That in itself isn't unusual with this particular pattern, and it's because it's a very relaxed drop shoulder style. We talked about yarn substitution, whether we build yarns up or go down. We talked about sizing and fit at about where you actually place that drop shoulder, because you actually have a lot of power about where you put that drop shoulder depending on that original shoulder measurement. So you can actually have it quite dropped, which gives you a lot of drape and looseness, or you could have it just partially dropped, which means that it's a little bit more snug. We talked about yarn selection. We talked about where to travel if you're joining yarns, or if you're traveling interchanging yarns, where to travel them from, and length and pockets and things like that. So there's lots of useful information about the Rebel. So do go and check that out. We also talked about the provisional cast on too. I used a crochet provisional cast on and short rows, those infamous short rows. So here is my progress. So as you can see, I am now working my way. So there is my, I haven't done as much as I would like. There's my sleeve there. So I've done about a couple of inches past my armhole. And as you can see, as I hold this up to the screen, you can see where I've gone from ball 1 to ball 2. Now, Libby did talk about the integration of balls. I personally decided to throw caution to the wind. So I'm using this gorgeous yarn here, which is our high twist yarn, but it has been dyed by the wonderful Sue Goodley from Sue's Hand Dyed Yards in Mahia, and I chose it because to me it just screamed Mahia. The colours, I mean, if you had said to somebody, put the colours of the Mahia Peninsula into a yarn, this is it. Sue has encapsulated it perfectly. It's somewhere that I've spent a lot of time over the years and do get back to. I absolutely adore it up there. And if you've never had an opportunity to go to the Mahia Peninsula, do. It's beautiful. It's amazing. It's one of the jewels in our Hawke's Bay crown. Now, let me see where I'm going here. Right, let me just hold this up for you. And as you can see, there is a change from ball 1 to ball 2. Now, there'll be two reasons for this. Obviously, one is because I'm now working much longer rows as opposed to lots of short rows. But I personally, this change here doesn't bother me. Let's spin it around. It might be easier to see. There we go. It's actually less noticeable on the back. It's a wee bit bluer through here. And to be honest with you, I don't integrate the balls. I don't alternate, don't integrate. I quite like it. I like the fact that the colours undulate and change and there's this random pooling, because for me, nature isn't perfect. Nature isn't even. And for me, that's why I chose the colours. Not everybody can deal with that. I understand. If you're somebody that does need to alternate their colours and integrate them along, the one tip that Libby did give is she said to do that alteration right here, where you actually change out from the garter stitch to the stocking stitch in the back, and actually travel your yarns up at this point, not at your edge point. Then that way it will remain hidden and it will just melt away in that little ridge point where you actually have reverse stocking stitch with garter stitch. So that's where you're going to carry your yarn up at that point. So that is a really great tip from her. I'm still undecided. I talked to her about, because quite often I will put A-line shaping from under the arms here. Now that I've actually got this, as you can see, it is from my shoulder point. This is actually quite wide. And when I sort of whack it around the shoulders, this, even with the drop shoulder, this is actually, I don't think I'll need to. I think I've actually got the amount of give that I need in this. So I'm really delighted with that. If you're wondering why mine is all looking so lovely and not twisting and doing crazy things, I will tell you I did press this morning to make it easy to show you. So I actually sometimes do that. Like, I mean, this high twist does have a tendency to do some crazy things before you block it. I just find giving it a light steam every now and then helps the work sit flat and helps me see and visualize the colors and where things are going in the shape, and also testing for the fit and measurements as I go. It's quite a useful thing. Thank you for everyone who is sharing up their projects on the Skeinz Speakeasy. I have to admit, there have been some absolute pearlers. I love, and I only just caught it yesterday when I was doing a quick scroll through. I definitely have seen some done in this high twist in the Sock Bandit, and I think I saw it in the Daring Jelly, which is the mustardy coloured one. Looked incredible. So if you're wanting to actually get that really beautiful sort of hand-dyed effect, then you can actually get that with the Sock Bandit. And I saw someone who used actually the sprinkles, which is like the sort of speckly colours, with a, one of the jellies as a solid around the garter stitch portion as well. Really, I mean, I think Sock Bandit is a perfect perfect project for this yarn. So definitely do go and check those out. If you're not a member of the Skeinz Speakeasy, you do need to make sure you join, because that's where all the action is happening. And there's this wonderful group. So if you haven't gone and joined the Speakeasy yet, do make sure you go over and do that, because that's where things happen. Right, I'll just scroll down here just in case I missed everybody. Great, everyone looks like they're doing really well. Right, on to exciting stuff. Okay, the first things first, a number of you may have seen these yesterday. I popped these up yesterday, didn't say anything, but that's all right, didn't take you long to find them. We've got two, they've obviously started to do a bleach at the mill, which we've been waiting for a while. When they do a big bleach, they'll often bleach in like 100 kilo lots, like big bleaches, which means that hopefully, fingers crossed, the fact that they've done a bleach at the mill will mean that the white yarns that we've all been waiting for should hopefully not be too far away. And we've been waiting for merino soft whites, orbs. What else have we've got? Urban Deluxe has come in and Albertine has come in, but there are a few still floating around. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that'll happen. What we did get from the mill is this guy here, which is a 3-ply white. So if you're wanting, now this 3-ply is sort of closer to the American fingering. So if you're doing a shawl project, particularly brilliant if you're doing christening shawls. This is actually optic white. If you're somebody that is doing a little bit of home dyeing for themselves, all you would need to do is niddy-noddy this off into a hank, and you could possibly have a little play around with it. It is machine washable, so it is shrink treated, but you could get some really bright, intense colours off these. But this is going out at a super hot price, $2.95, just for you guys for Labour Weekend. We thought we'll do something special, so that's for that one. And actually, no, I'm telling Big Pork Pies. I'm telling Pork Pies, I think it's $3.95 because it's the merino. That's right. Sorry, $3.95, but just still great buying. This one is a DK white. Nice big classic DK white. In fact, I don't think we've got any in Perrindale at the moment, so this is perfect if you've got some projects and you need some Perrindale 100 gram ball, and that's going out at $5.95. So they're both up on the sale page, and I have to say they went up late yesterday afternoon, and they've been going like hotcakes ever since. There are reasonable stocks of both of these, but they are selling very, very quickly. And I will be putting these out in the newsletter this afternoon. So once that happens, you know what it's like. Once the newsletter goes out, it is all on. Speaking of the newsletter, you are going to be the first to know. I'm telling you guys first before the newsletter goes out. We have going on sale, so bump the table, going live from tomorrow, online from tomorrow. I've already moved them over into the sale category. The Cascade is going out at $9.95, so that's going back out at $9.95. So that's the Malila, the Rosalind, and the Sport. Also, Blue Sky Fibres. We're doing a Blue Sky Fibre just for the long weekend. Okay, so you can only come in store and grab it on Saturday or online from tomorrow. All the Blue Sky Fibres, so that's the brushed suri, the alpaca silk, and the merino merino silk sock for Spud and Chloe. All of those are going out at $14.95. So do make sure you have fingers on buzzers for those tomorrow. So that is a very special promotion just for the long weekend. I will put that out in the newsletter, so that will go out in the newsletter today. But do make sure you get into some of those because they will go super, super fast. But what I really want to show you is the incognito. I've been talking about the incognito, as you know, for a week or two. I popped a wee photo up last week. So what we've gone and done there is we're having to sort through it because it just literally just came in bags and boxes on a big pallet, and we're having to sort through everything. The yarn, I can't tell you what the yarn is. So what the whole concept is, though, is incognito is we've created a new label because we've been able to source a number of yarns from premium suppliers who have got either surplus yarns, or they could be yarns that were slightly off shade, or they could have had an oopsie, or they might be discontinued colours, and they don't want them sold out under their own branding, which happens. They just don't want to. So we have managed to secure these yarns, and we are putting them out under our Incognito brand, which is basically branded yarns in disguise. The first lot of yarn, which I've just popped up and sitting, they've now got their own category, and I've just gone and popped it in the sale category as well, so it's easy for you to find, is a super fine merino DK. It's American grown, American spun, and all the skeins that are up are all hand dyed. Oh, you say. Ooh. So these are now up. I have got, you'll see a small number of them there. So this is this here. There they are. These will be going in store from today, by the way. I'm going to set up a little display actually right here where I do my videos. I'm going to put a wee display up, or might even do it in the shop. So this is them here. These are the ones that have gone up online, and I'm going to show you that I've got five colors up online, and then one group called Lucky Dip, and I'll tell you why they're Lucky Dip in a minute. So here they are here. So this is honestly buttery soft merino, so soft. 275 meters. This is a 100 gram skein, so double the size of a normal ball. And we've got, these are the 5 colors. So this one here is called we've called the range Aspen. We've given, and in case you're wondering, this entire range that's come in from this American, we've just given them all tree names because we wanted to at least keep them in a theme. So if it's named after a tree, if the range is called after a tree, you know that that's come from that supplier. We actually have more coming from another supplier, and we will give those different names as well. And it just sort of helps so you can figure out that it's not necessarily all from the same place. So these ones we've called this one Aspen. This one's called Bayou. This one's called Whisper. Now, this Bayou, it's green, but it is honestly the subtlest graduations of green. It's very, very subtle. This one here, the Aspen, we've got about 13 hanks of this, only 13 hanks of this. This one here is Whistler, which is this beautiful, soft, subtly graduated silvery grey. There are only 5 of this, so it's a garment lot, but only 5. This one here is called Tahoe, this beautiful jadey green, a soft sort of minty jadey green. Again, I think there's 7 of this one. Again, a garment lot, but that's it, just 7. And these two we've got a little bit more of. So this one here is called Veil, which I just adore, and the screen's probably not going to show it. It is definitely a minty, glaciery type blue, but it's got all these sort of little hints of different subtle graduations of very soft blue, from minty sort of blue all the way through to sort of deep blue. It's like if you were looking through ice. It's absolutely incredible. That one's called Veil. I think we've got about 22 skeins of that. And this one is, we've called this one the Rockies, and this is a classic grey, but look, it's got all these beautiful grey tones, deeper grey tones. I have to admit, those two are very, very happy friends if you wanted to do something with them. And we've got about 40 odd of that one. As you, utterly divine, absolutely divine. Those are up and live now. So you will find them nice and easy peasy. And then when you jump on there, you'll see a category called Aspen Lucky Dip. And that, as she holds, this is Meet the Lucky Dip box. So that is the Lucky Dip box. So there is literally anywhere between 1 to 3 skeins in the Lucky Dip box. We are going to be selecting those for you. Every single skein that's in this box goes with every other skein that's in this box. So from a colour perspective, every other skein talks to every other skein, and they look fabulous. So if you were to buy just a single skein from the Lucky Dip box, we'll pick that for you. If you're brave and you thought, oh, I'm going to throw caution to the wind and buy 4 from the Lucky Dip box, we will make sure that we will give you 4 that will all work together. So whether they be 2 of one colour and then 2 different colours, or whatever it may be, but they would all work. So then if you chose to do something really fun and colour work with it, or something really interesting with it, you would actually have it so it was projectable. You would be able to do a project and it would look amazing. So that is it. That is the sum total of the Lucky Dip box there. Now, if you come in store, because the Lucky Dip box will be out here, it will be in the shop. If you come in store, you can actually pick what colours you want. So that's the treat for those that come and visit us here at the Skeinz shop. You can actually come in and pick out whatever colours you like. So that is the Lucky Dip box. It doesn't matter, and I will say this anyway, I can't see these lasting terribly long. We don't have huge numbers, but we wanted to get the Aspen up first. We've got more coming after the long weekend, so we will, hopefully this time next week, I'll get the next batch loaded up. And it's looking like it will be just sort of a standard American wool. We've got a worsted weight and there's a sport weight. And I think there could even be a DK weight in there as well. I think hopefully we'll get those ones up next week. But we wanted to get these merinos out first because we just think they're amazing. And they're utterly, utterly delicious. And I did actually pull out a pattern. If you're looking for a really fantastic pattern to knit, and this pattern would work, it's a great pattern for this time of year, would work fabulously well with the ones that we've got sitting there. And I found this one, it's from Manos de Uruguay. It's called Jemima, and it's this gorgeous little t-shirt. Really sweet little t-shirt. It is knitted on a DK yarn, and a DK and or sports weight yarn that's sort of at the finer end of DK or sport weight. So knitted using a 3.75 millimeter needle, 22 stitch tension. That's the one I was looking for. And look at that really sweet little detail. It is knitted in pieces. So front, back, and sleeves, which I know a number of you that aren't actually top down or in the round knitters really quite like. And it is a free pattern on Ravelry. It will look fantastic in any of these incognito yarns that I showed you, but it would also look equally as good in the Cascade prints. These prints are fantastic, and remember, from tomorrow these prints will be on sale for $9.95. So don't go and buy them today, you want to buy them tomorrow. So from tomorrow these are on sale from $9.95. So that is Jemima. It's by Anakin Ellis from Manos de Uruguay, so do make sure you check that out. Right, last but not least, Wellington this weekend. If you happen to be in Wellington, particularly in Upper Hutt, Creative Fibre Fest is on this week. They had to defer their date due to COVID. I'm absolutely delighted it's going to be off the ground. Unfortunately, the new date, we were supposed to be there, the new date being 4-day weekend and Hawke's Bay anniversary is not good for us, so we're not going to be there. But that's okay. There are going to be fabulous people that are going to be there. And I've just put, for example, there are so many great people there. So Bleating Art, if you're wanting a little bit of Hawke's Bay love, Bleating Art, which is one of our local indie dyes, they will be there. Darn Knits, which is another Southern Hawke's Bay Dannyburg dye, they will be there. Deline will be there with, she's doing her own beautiful yarns and knitted garments, and she'll also have Squishy McDo yarns as well. Fibre, the wonderful Lynn from Fibre to Go is there. Go and see Vanessa from Hanging Rock Roost. She has just launched a stunning new design, so go and check that out. I'm sure she will have her designs there, plus that brand spanking new one. The Hoolies will be there. Paul and Julie from Harney's Hoolies, caught up with them the other weekend. It was so good to see them. If you want some silk deliciousness, Julie is absolutely the person to talk to about that. Incredible. Cane Carding will be there for the spinners. I think also too Twisted Sisters, they've got some fibre as well. Rebecca from Kiwiana is making the trip up from Christchurch. Caught up with her when I was down there. Oh, I mean, if she has even a fraction of the yarns that she had at the pop-up at Outlaw, it will be amazing. If you are an alpaca fan, Radine will be there, which is Yvonne Monk and all her beautiful alpaca fibre. She has actually carded fibre available for spinning as well as some other garments and bits. Palliser Ridge, if you adore beautiful farm, from farm to yarn, rustic yarns. Palliser, I was actually next to the Palliser people when we did Yarn Fest, Fibre Fest in Auckland a few years back, and it was just fabulous. They're awesome. They've got some really, really fun, interesting yarns. Who else have I got on this list? Waioni Wool Carding will be there again for the spinners. They're fabulous. And Yarn Floozy will be there. And of course, actually, I think Katrina's got all those beautiful finer yarns. And then the wonderful yarns, Nanette. You can't miss out Nanette. Nanette, I mean, if Nanette's the queen of accessories, really quirky bits. She's got the cotton, sugars and cream cotton. And of course, I buy a lot of my Noro from Nanette. So, and that's just to name a few. There are a whole heap of others there, but that's just honestly just a handful of what's available. So Capital Fibre Fest, it's free entry 10 till 3 this Saturday. It's at Expressions at Upper Hutt. If you need to know where to find them, where to figure out what to do and all the rest of it, they've got a website. Just go to fibrefest.nz. That's fibrefest.nz, and that will tell you where to find everything. And when I say fibre, I mean the New Zealand spelling of fibre, Fibre, fest.nz. So to all the team, I know you guys have been working on this for a long time. Good luck. I hope you have it. I know it'll be a fabulous weekend. You guys will have a ball. Claire's actually going to go down and check it out. She's really looking forward to it. So good luck to everyone in Wellington this weekend at Capital Fibre Fest. So I think that's me. Oh, there we go. Where in Upper Hutt is it being held? The Expressions, that's where it's been held. I can't tell you where Expressions is, but from what I understand, it's there we go. Right. It's a 2 minutes walk to the train and bus station and a short walk from the town centre. So it's right in the Upper Hutt town centre. So do go and check that out. Right. So just as a recap for everybody, Cascade Blue Sky Fibres will be on sale from tomorrow. Don't jump the gun today. From tomorrow. I'll put that in the newsletter. But the Incognito is available now. So if you don't want to miss out on the Incognito, I definitely suggest you go and grab those now. As particularly some of those other colours that there are only a few of. We've got those whites that are on sale. What else have we got? I keep feeling, mohair. I knew there was something else. Mohair. We've gotten some mohair back in. We are getting a fine mohair of our own, but it's been delayed at the mill. So we did get some more mohair in. So that's the Seizure Vivienne mohair. We've got the sort of burgundy colour. There is the limey green colour. There is, I've gone blank, burgundy, limey green. And I think it's a blue. Oh, yes, it is an aqua blue. And I also think a light blue is going up and a white is going up. So they are going to be there. Now, those work fabulously well with a pearl luster, which is still on sale at the moment. You guys have been snapping up that. But also, if you're going to be doing some double stranding, we find that the mohairs that we've got in work really, really well with the baby bandit, particularly the green and the blue. And if you're wanting the sort of burgundy coloured one, we know works quite well with the Four Ply Cove in Miami Beach, I think it is. So if you're going to do something like a love note, for example. So those are back up and in stock. So you can definitely check those out. Oh, and that was the other thing. See, look, I actually wrote... That's why I write notes, because I forget. The other thing to check out too, I just noticed before I came on, is if you're wanting to get some pick up some patterns, it is Stephen West's birthday. He is 32 and he is doing a birthday sale on all of his patterns. And you need to put birthday sale in the coupon, and I think it's 30% off. It's quite a generous discount on that. So if you've been looking at doing something like a star flanket or some, actually the bubble, it's a bubbly cowl that he's got would look great in these Incognitos. If you've been looking at doing something like that, it's a really good time to pick those up from him. All the Gothic is now gone. That was on that went on sale on Monday. So that is now gone. Thank you. Good. Congratulations to everyone that picked up those. And also the other thing too is, when you come in to visit us, as I said at the beginning, we are open on Saturday, 10 to 1 here, but we're closed tomorrow. So the other thing, bearing that in mind, is that any orders that get placed after sort of really about 1 o'clock today, they will not now be dispatched until Tuesday, because remember, it's a 4-day weekend here. So just so you're aware of that, any orders that are placed sort of after 1 o'clock today won't get dispatched, and it depends on the numbers we have in the system, but I think we should be good. So do be very, very aware of that. But we are open on Saturday, so do come in and visit us, and 10 to 1 here in Onikawa. So do come in and say hello. And the other thing we have got actually in store is we've got also all the hippie here as well. Some of you may have noticed we have had an ad rolling around with all the hippie cushions and homewares. And we've popped that out because there's a few weddings rolling around and a few birthdays rolling around at the moment. So if you've got a wedding or a birthday coming up, you're needing to post overseas for a gift for Christmas, do consider the hippie homeware. It's absolutely beautiful. The cushions, the hats, especially the hats, make great gifts. If you are posting up to the Northern Hemisphere for Christmas gifts, the hippie hats will be brilliant. Absolutely brilliant for that, because they are obviously Northern Hemisphere winter, and we have all of those, and they're very, very easy to post. So do make sure you check those out as well. But I better fly because I need to get the newsletter written so I can get that out to you this afternoon. But in the meantime, have a great long weekend. I hope you get plenty of knitting done, and we will see you. There will be no diaries on Monday, obviously, because we'll all be knitting and kicking our feet up and having a great time. But I will see you again next Thursday. So until then, have a great week, and I will see you again this time next week. Take care. Bye.